There is a room in an American university that has been legally declared uninhabitable, not because of a gas leak or a structural failure, but because the state of Ohio officially recognizes that what lives inside is a threat to human safety. One detail doesn't add up, and it changes everything. Wilson Hall, located at Ohio University in Athens, is widely considered the most haunted dormitory in the United States. While the entire campus is legendary for its ghosts, one specific location stands apart in its violence: Room 428. For decades, students reported the same chilling figure, a tall man in a wide-brimmed hat, watching them as they slept. The reports weren't just whispers, they were official complaints filed with the university. Today, that room is permanently sealed. The horror of Wilson Hall is rooted in the very ground it stands on. The dormitory was built on land that once belonged to the Athens Lunatic Asylum, a facility notorious for its brutal treatment of patients. Even more unsettling is the geography. Wilson Hall sits at the exact center of a pentagram formed by 5 ancient cemeteries that surround the campus. In the 1970s, the first recorded tragedy occurred in room 428. A young female student was found dead under mysterious circumstances. Some say it was a sudden illness. Others whisper that she was practicing the occult, trying to communicate with the spirits of the asylum. Immediately after her death, the haunting began. The next student to live there reported hearing a rhythmic scratching coming from inside the walls. At night, they felt the bed vibrate. They would wake up to find their heavy wooden desk floating inches off the floor before crashing back down. Then came the physical evidence that the university couldn't ignore. A face appeared in the wood of the room's door. It was the distinct, agonizing image of a human being screaming. The school replaced the door. They sanded it down. They painted over it. Every single time, the screaming face bled back through the wood. By the 1990s, students weren't just seeing shadows. They were being attacked. The sightings of the Shadow Man became a campus epidemic. He was described as a silhouette darker than the darkness itself, standing nearly 7 feet tall, wearing a long trench coat and a brimmed hat. Students reported waking up with the sensation of massive, cold hands tightening around their throats. They saw him standing at the foot of their beds, a void of light that seemed to suck the warmth out of the room. One student reported being physically shoved into a wall by an invisible force while walking to her desk. Another fled the room in the middle of the night, claiming the Shadow Man had whispered her name directly into her ear. The university took an unprecedented step. They didn't just lock the room, they had the door bolted shut and the room removed from the housing registry. In an official capacity, the room was declared uninhabitable. To this day, room 428 is the only dorm room in the country sealed because of paranormal activity. But the seal didn't stop the Shadow Man. Students living in the rooms next to 428 still report the sound of heavy furniture moving behind the bricked-up walls. They hear the scratching. They see the man in the hat walking through the hallways, disappearing into the wall where the door used to be. The mystery of Wilson Hall remains a dark stain on the university's history, but 3 theories attempt to explain why this room is so hostile. This theory suggests that the pentagram of cemeteries is not a coincidence. Because room 428 sits at the heart of this geographic pattern, it acts as a lightning rod for the spirits of the thousands of patients who died at the asylum. The Shadow Man isn't one person. He is a manifestation of the collective trauma of the land. If the entire building is a nexus, why is the activity concentrated almost entirely on one room? Some believe the student who died in the 1970s succeeded in her ritual. She didn't just contact a spirit, she opened a doorway and was pulled through it. The Shadow Man is an entity that she brought into our world, a guardian of the doorway that now considers room 428 its territory. If the doorway is still open, the Shadow Man isn't trapped in room 428. He's just waiting for a new way out. Skeptics argue that this is a case of mass sleep paralysis. The Hat Man is a universal archetype reported by thousands of people globally who suffer from sleep disorders. The theory suggests that the legend of Wilson Hall is so famous, causing their brains to hallucinate the figure. This explains the sightings, but it completely ignores the physical evidence. The university didn't seal the room because of bad dreams. They sealed it because of broken furniture and physical injuries. Today, Wilson Hall is still full of students. They walk the halls, they study for exams, and they try to ignore the locked door on the 4th floor. During a recent renovation, workers reported that the temperature in the hallway outside room 428 remains consistently 10 degrees colder than the rest of the building. The scratching sounds have begun to move. They are moving into the ceiling. They are moving into the floor. The university tried to lock the Shadow Man in a room. But what if the room wasn't a cage? What if it was just the first place he chose to manifest?